See, that's all right. It's not too bad, is it? The light's not too bad.
Hopefully.
Okay, we're going.
Hi, and welcome to this Hangout, aka otherwise known as a webinar, or webinar otherwise known as a Hangout. We've been lucky to secure Michael here.
Hi,
And in fact, Michael's here in Australia on his holiday at the moment, and he's agreed to come on and be interviewed by me about Google+. As we know, well, as some of you guys may or may not know, Google+, I mean, it's been around for a couple of years now. Was it 2011, Michael? July 2011.
Yeah.
Google launched Google+, so that's Google's answer to Facebook effectively, but we're going to actually show you that it's so much more now anyway. But the first couple of years with Google+, it was kind of a little bit of testing and measuring, I think, for Google, and I think in the last 6 months we've been noticing a real difference, and especially it growing here in Australia. I know that in the States it's probably been a little bit more utilised, would you say that, and in the world?
Yeah, still most of my engagers on my posts are males in California, but that's gradually changing, and also is getting very popular in India. Cool. So it's good to see that it's taken on in Australia.
Awesome. And the other thing is that Google just launched Google My Business as part of Google+. So we've always had business pages, or business pages were introduced, you know, kind of about 6 to 8 months after Google started. So just think of it a little bit like this. So Facebook has personal profiles and business pages. Google+ has personal profiles and business pages, and they've just introduced in this last week My Business page, which integrates so much better with all the Google features. So it's a really good time to be talking about that today, especially if you've got a business in Australia or throughout the world. And we're going to show you exactly how you can use Google+ to really grow your business, be seen as the authority, and be found on the search engines, and also make money, make profits from Google+. And we're lucky enough to have Michael here to go through it. So what we're going to do, rather than you guys look at our faces, even though they're pretty damn good looking, we're going to do a slide share with you guys so that you can actually see our presentation. But before I do, there's a couple of things I just wanted to go through. Now, we've got 45 minutes tonight, and so we're going to try and cover as much as we can over these next 45 minutes. Michael's got another engagement, so I've just been able to secure him now for these 45 minutes before he takes off and actually starts doing some holiday things. But we're going to show you how you are able to get more of this information, the things that we can't cover tonight, and we'll be showing you how you can get more help at the end of this Hangout. Also, we'll be showing you at the end of this Hangout how you will be able to get a recording of this that you can go through later. So if someone can actually type in, there's a little group chat just over to the side of your page here. Actually, I might see whether people can start typing in, if you can see that group chat. Love to have some interaction. So if you can see that on the side there.
And if anyone has got any questions, we might be able to take 2 or 3 questions and look at them through it and answer your questions at the end if we've got enough time.
If we've got enough time, yes. So just over to the side, you've got your group chat. You can type in messages along the way, or questions along the way. Other than that, we're going to get started. And if someone can remind us at the end to give you the link to, or give you the information on how you can get more information about this, and also about how you can get the recording of this Hangout. Awesome stuff. Okay, so I'm just going to go screen share, and
yeah, just click on that, that'll do it.
All right, that one there I think is the right one, and I might have to skip back some. I was nothing like jumping ahead of the game here. So let's go to the. There's a few people still probably we're waiting on to come on tonight as well, so we'll get started here. So what we'll be talking about is how to be successful on Google Plus and how to be found online. What we know about Google is that they've said that they're using social signals to be able to determine what they're going to serve up in the search engine. So just realised that my microphone might have not been working properly. So yeah, so one thing we know about Google is that they have said that they're going to be using social signals. So signals on what people are doing on social networks to determine what they're going to serve up when someone makes a search online. So for instance, if you're on Google Plus and you've got a whole heap of people in your circles or people that are followers of you in Google Plus, when they do a search or their friends do a search, Google's going to use that and serve you up if you're in their circles more than they will other people. So that's how important it is to actually be involved in Google Plus so that you can actually be found. I'm just going to go through a few things about Google Plus, and then we're going to pass on to the expert here, Michael, to obviously go through the guts of it. So Google Plus, it's social networking. It takes into account social interests, news, and it's also a location source. So if you have a local business, you want to be on Google Plus because Google Maps and Google Local Places and Google Reviews for your business are all inside Google Plus. And in fact, I just searched the other day, I live on the Gold Coast, for Gold Coast dentist. I think it was the #1 organic search, so the ones that weren't paid, was a Google Plus page for that particular dentist, but it wasn't even full. There was nothing on it. It was empty, but there'd been, I think it was 84,000 views on it. So if you have a local business and people come to your establishment, then you need to be on Google Plus because that is where the maps, the reviews, and the location source are now. Google Plus is built around these things called circles. So circles are effectively lists, and that is the really great thing about Google Plus. In fact, the circles are Google has taken into account real life experiences, what people would do in real life, and they've thrown it into a social network. So just as you probably wouldn't want people you work with to see some of your posts, they don't need to, or you might have a different message to people you work with, to what you would have your friends, to what you would have your clients, and so on. So the great thing is that Google Plus helps with all that. So you can do a post just to a small group of people or to a large group of people, around the world. So effectively, it's real life sharing, rethought for the web. So what you would do in real life it's now online and it's inside Google Plus. But why should you be on Google Plus? Well, we know it's scary. We know it's another social network, effectively. I know a lot of people out there are going, gosh, I don't want to have to join another social network. I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube, I'm on, LinkedIn or whatever else. Do I have to go on another one? Well, yes, as a matter of fact. But the great thing about it, it's scary. It's relatively new in terms of a social network, but it's, putting yourself out there and getting on Google Plus, it's just half the battle. So getting started is half the battle. Once you're there, once you're on there, you can build yourself up quite easily. And it's great because you can have some really great interaction and a strategy that helps you make money and helps you get found. So once upon a time in marketing, we had one-way communication where you as a brand or a product or a business, you just advertised in the yellow pages, or you put an advert in the newspaper and you hoped that worked. Well, the great thing about Google Plus, or a great thing about social networking as a whole, is that it's two-way communication. So which one do you think is going to be a little bit more effective when you can actually put out some information or actually ask your clients what they want, and then they tell you what they want, and then you can provide what they want? It's a much better result, and a lot of the big brands nowadays are using Google Plus, they're using any other social network to launch new products, or to do pre-release of products, or to do product development and R&D, so research and development. So they're finding out, what it is that their clients want before they actually produce it, and it's a lot cheaper. And it's really great to be able to do this on Google+. And just, a little bit of information about sort of the user penetration on Google+. Now, if you think about all the people in the world that have got internet access, so everyone who has got internet effectively, who can get on the World Wide Web, right? Well, if we look at websites, Facebook is #1 in terms of, the number of people that have got internet access have a Facebook account, okay? So it's, 7 out of 10 internet users worldwide have a Facebook account, okay? How many people do you think have a Google Plus account? We might get a little bit of interaction going on here. Oops, can we? Can we get back to the Hangout? Are we on the Hangout? Showing the Hangout?
It's usually, if you click on Chrome, there'll be 2 windows come up.
Okay, here we go. Here we've got a little box here. Has anyone discovered where the chat box is yet, down on the side, or have they not? Love to get some interaction. So how many? Oh well, it's shown up on my slide anyway, so we'll get straight back to that. Can we actually? So you have to excuse me. I'm a little bit of a dinosaur when it comes to. Oh, back to us. Okay, back to screen share again. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, so 5 out of 10 internet users, let's go back to that. So 5 out of 10 internet users, so that's internet users worldwide, have a Google Plus account. So that's about the same as Twitter and Pinterest combined. And Pinterest is actually, last year I think it was the 3rd top fastest social network. And Twitter obviously has been around. How long has Twitter been around for, Michael?
6 years now.
6 years now. So realistically, Google Plus, it's bigger than almost any other website in terms of reach and or potential reach, right? So if we're talking about active users, one of the biggest complaints is that only 1 in 5 users are active on Google Plus. So that's 1 in 5, right? So we've got 60% of all Google Plus users logging in each day, and 80% at least once a week. We think, well, there's over 1.2 billion Google Plus users now. I think it's even more than that. So there's over 1 billion. 60 to 80% of those log in every week. But we've only got 1 in 5 active users. Active, we know, means making a noise, okay? Now, they log on to Google, they go into Google, they're looking at what's going on, but they're not necessarily making moves, they're not necessarily posting. Do you know why they're not doing this? Because they don't know what to do. So you guys, after this Hangout, and after how we can show you how you can get a little bit more involved in this, are going to know so much more than most other Google Plus users out there. And you can actually start posting, start engaging, start getting your posts seen, and start being found in search engines. Now, what we know is active means noise. Less noise means you get heard if you actually make the noise. If we take Facebook, for instance, now we know that Facebook is really, really busy. There's a whole heap of posts. If you go onto Facebook, you can see that the feed goes really, really fast. If you post something, unless it gets a lot of action on it, it might get missed. In Google Plus, we're seeing that posts is, if you're actively on there, your posts aren't getting missed and people are seeing them. And then they're not just seeing them in Google Plus, they're actually seeing them in the search engine. They're also seeing them in their email. They're also seeing them, if you've got a video, in YouTube. And YouTube is the second largest search engine. So you can see how this all ties together. So most people more people, in fact, visited Google Plus in the last 6 months than they have Facebook. They've visited, but they're not necessarily in there adding to the noise, okay? So, and just in terms of, visiting Google Plus, we know that Google Plus, Google has the integration, right, with Chrome. We've got Google Plus, we've got YouTube, We've got Google Maps and Google Local Places, and inside Google Local Places is Google Reviews for your business. We've got Google News. We've got Gmail, which ties in as well, and we've got Hangouts like this, so conversations, and hundreds more. And Google is continuously buying more and more really popular sites to add to its noise, so it can be huge. And we know that Google is watching us, so in everything that we do online, if you're logged into your Gmail account, and we know 60 to 80% of people log in to Google Plus, so we've got even more than that logging into the Gmail account on a daily basis. That when you're logged in, Google can see what you're doing in terms of searching, when you're plus oneing. So in plus one in Google Plus is like a like in Facebook. So when we talk about a plus one, it means someone thinks that your product or brand or what you've posted is pretty cool. They recommend it. If they recommend it, they're recommending it out to all their friends and so on. So that affects everything that happens in search. So if Google's watching your clients, what they're doing, who they're interacting with, if they're interacting with you and your posts inside Google Plus, then when they search, it's going to dish up your stuff to them, and it associates their friends as well, and to their friends, and so on. Google wants a good user experience. The good user experience is by watching what everyone is doing on there and dishing them up more of what they like and what they interact with. And that's where Michael is really, really good. He knows what to post, when to post, how to post, to be able to get the maximum number of interaction, shares, and followers and results. And he's going to go through that today. So what we also know is the most common activity for people on Google Plus and Facebook is uploading and sharing photos. People are 2 times more likely to upload and share photos than actually like and plus one. We want them to like and plus one, but you as a user of Google Plus, we know that these are going to get more interaction, and people are uploading and they're sharing these. We can use these to our advantage, and I see Michael doing this on a daily basis inside Google Plus. Okay, some of the misconceptions: some people think Google Plus is a ghost town. Only people on Google Plus are geeks, engineers, or early adopters, and that may have been the case in the earlier days. They only make up 1%. 1% of the total users in Google Plus are geeks, engineers, or early adopters. So if one out of every 2 internet users are on Google Plus, then pretty much any niche can work on Google Plus. So whatever industry you're on and your business is on, it can work inside Google Plus. Another thing that people think is that it's similar to Facebook. It's not. Sharing and interaction are completely different on Google Plus and Facebook, and Michael's going to go through that, or some of that. And if he can't today, we'll show you how you can find out. Google Plus has video and group chatting and collaboration options. So here we are on this Hangout, sharing our screen. We can do a group chat, and we can invite other people into talk as well. So it's all integrated inside Google Plus, and it interacts directly with Gmail, YouTube, and your calendar, and so on. So when we loaded this Google Plus Hangout, or when Michael loaded this Google Plus Hangout, how many buttons do you think he had to push to make sure that it was shared in the feed and emailed out to his circles? And then when we run this, how many buttons do we have to push to make sure that it's running correctly, that it's being recorded, and that it's going on YouTube as well, and that everyone gets reminders in their emails if they've said that they're coming to this event? We only have to push really one button. It all does it itself, and this is the great thing about Google Plus, okay? And we know that searching and filtering are more powerful in Google Plus. Why do you think this is? Because it's built around a search engine. So that's, like Google is, it's funny, I find this quite amusing, Michael. Google built a social media site, but Google is a search engine gone into social. Facebook is a social site, but they're trying to build a search engine inside Facebook now. So I just think that's really amusing. But some people think, no, I don't have time to do Google+. Well, don't use Google+, you know, just to socialise, just to make friends, just to win popularity contests. To bitch, we use Facebook to do that. To stalk people, we use Facebook to do that as well. Or because we love Google+. We're not using Google+ for any of these reasons. Well, not just any of these reasons. We can certainly, you know, build friends and followings and stuff like that, but we're using Google Plus to make money ultimately. And this, you know, Michael was really, really good at building up these followers and helping his clients and interacting on Google Plus to ultimately make the money on the Google Plus. So let's talk about what we'll be covering today. Michael's written a book, The 7 Pillars of Online Success, but realistically it's the 7 pillars of your Google Plus success. We're going to be talking about interviewing Michael on how to set up your Google Plus profile so that you can get maximum search results for you and your website, but so that you can actually get maximum results inside Google Plus as well. This is probably one of the first foundational things that you need to do inside Google Plus before you start collaborating with people, joining people, is that make sure your about section is right. How to build those thousands of followers nice and quickly as well, and how you don't even have to create your own content to be able to post on Google Plus, because I know some people stress about, what am I going to post every day? Well, Michael's going to go through that as well. Just briefly about me, because it's not about me, it's about Michael today, but I'm a certified social media strategist, studying, testing and measuring social media over the last 5 days. I've got heaps of clients that I've helped make hundreds of thousands of dollars using social media, but I'm now at the moment just number 5 in the most shared female on Google Plus in Australia, and we're going to get that up pretty quickly after this as well, so you'll see me rocketing up to, we're hoping, number 1. Anyway, but more about Michael. So he's author of the 7 Pillars book, number 31 most shared person in the world on Google Plus, and those top people are celebrities, aren't they?
Mostly, yeah. Yeah.
So number 31 most shared person on Google Plus, but he's got over 75,000 followers. And it's just gone up to 45 million views. Imagine 45 people in the world looking at your stuff. Imagine 75,000 people following you. I mean, what difference to your business could that make? And especially when we look at the ripple effect of Google Plus, that those 75,000 followers aren't just 75,000 followers. It's their friends and so on. And that's why we get the 45 million views. So you think if Michael posts something, people are going to notice? Yes, they are. And when they're searching, and if Michael puts in a keyword in Google Plus or promotes something, he's going to be seen, you know, before a lot of other people on there as well. And, well, that should have actually come up first, but one of the world's top social media influencers as well. So let's go into the 7 pillars to Google Plus success, and we'll just run through briefly what these are, but we won't be able to go into full detail about them. But let's just tell you what they are, and this is what is going to be covered when we show you later on how you can get more involved in this. So did you want to go through these, or do you want me to go through them? And
yeah, thanks, Kerry. It's really great to be here. So us Kiwis can talk, right? We're both New Zealanders from the same town in Christchurch in New Zealand. So we both love to talk. So thanks for sticking with us so far. Number 1 pillar is getting known and branding yourself correctly, and this is even more important on Google Plus than it is on the rest of the internet. So you've got to be very, very careful to stick to your niche, because it's all about search, right? So you know the keywords are important when you want to get searched for, and also what you talk about and what you post. So you want to be found for the right kind of stuff. So it's Google Plus. It's very easy to have more than one page. They actually encourage you to have more than one page, and they have pages as well as your profile. So if you want to go into different niches, just start up a new presence on there. Okay,
yeah.
We'll talk about Google Plus tools a little bit. One particular site that I really love as a tool is circlecount.com. that's where I found that I was the number 31 most shared person recently on Google Plus, and they've got a lot of information about your progress on Google Plus and the progress of other people. So you've got graphs in there and different statistics to show which of your posts were most successful, so you can see what's working for you and what is not, for example. So check out Circle Count. Other tools that Google Plus have got that are different from the rest of the internet. Circles, obviously, that's a tool that you can use. So you've got to have a strategy for circling people. So
effectively, that's putting them in lists.
It's putting them in lists, but it's a little bit different than just lists, because you can have more than one person, and so they're not just for watching. You can actually, when you post, if you keep your circles reasonably small, and you can have an opt-in list of people that you can post out to.
Yeah.
So they'll get emailed when you post if they've opted in to see your posts, say on a particular topic or something like that. That's another way that you can use circles. So you can have what circles that you watch, and also circles that you push content out to as well. So you can actually give them a push notification on their phone as well for a Google Plus circle. So if you want to build a community and work like that. Google Plus also got communities, which run in a little bit different way than in Facebook as well. So, for example, plus ones and views in a community also count for building your Google Plus presence, where on Facebook they're more of a private place, but Google Plus, the communities even are publicly searched for by Google.
Unless you want them to be private. So you can actually have a community that's private and whatever else. But if you want them to be public, which you probably should, and depends what your strategy is, they can be searchable. Sure.
There's a myriad of other tools associated with Google Plus, including this Hangout that we're doing now. So lots to learn about them. How are we going for time, Kerry?
Yep, we've got 15 minutes, but we have.
So pillar 3 is about the content that you put out on Google Plus. You can write as much as you like in a post. They're all the words that you use are all searchable. There's hashtags in Google Plus as well in your content. I recommend that you hashtag a lot of your posts.
So for those people that don't know what a hashtag is, it's that shift in that little thing above the 3. And you put that before certain keywords inside your post. But there is a kind of a little bit of a fine line, isn't there? Some people hashtag bomb, so they do a whole heap
you don't
of
want to do that on
hashtags.
Google Plus, because they kind of disregard posts that try to spam with too many hashtags. Just want to give you a quick story that's topical. I've got a few Google Plus pages, and one of the pages is for my book. Most of the posts on that page don't get a massive reaction every time I post, so I don't spend so much time building up that presence. But 2 days ago I posted in there about the World Cup, and I posted a photo of the stadium in Brazil where the World Cup's going to be held, and I hashtagged it World Cup and something else, and I just went in there today and I saw that it had about 500 plus ones and over 100 shares. So with the way that the hashtags work is that probably a lot of those people didn't see it because they were following that page's posts so much, and also they might not have even been searching for the Google Plus and for the hashtag in Google Plus, but they may have been interacting with other posts that have been discussing the World Cup. So Google Plus thought, oh, those people are interested in that, so I'll show them that content. So that I really recommend that you have a strategy around your posting that involves some hashtagging and their hyperlinks. And it seems that in search, like that one I showed you before about that Wynyard topic, that because I'd hashtagged it with that, then it came up on the front page of Google. Even though my blog post had about 20,000 views about Wynyard, and that Google Plus post hadn't even been very successful, it was still ranking about number 7 on on Google just because I put that hashtag.
So what he's basically, well, I mean, what you're basically saying is that if you hashtag something with a keyword, it's going to be more likely that that's going to be served up in a search term, or could be served up in a search term. So if someone's searching for that particular keyword, well, a couple of things here. A, if they're searching for that particular keyword, so let's just say World Cup soccer, that it's going to show up. Or even if they're not searching for that particular keyword, but they've been, searched for it, or let it be known that that's their interest, then when they're on there searching again or on there interacting, it's going to be served up to them as well. So it has two sort of different purposes there, or probably several.
So you're allowed to circle 5,000 people, so I recommend that you do that gradually and work on that every day until you're actually circling 5,000 people. This doesn't mean that you see 5,000 people's posts, because you can actually choose. You can put, if you only want to watch 20 people's posts, for example, just have those in a 20-person circle that you watch, and you can watch different circles for different things and do different things for them. For example, this webinar tonight, I invited certain circles to it. I didn't invite all the circles. I keep about 15 circles altogether. So, but the actual circle that I watch most of the time has probably only got about 100 people in it. So,
so if you're on this today, it's because you're important to Michael. Or in the important circle. That's good.
So,
I guess the key also is to list your circles and manage them like they are a proper filing cabinet as such, so that you can actually, I mean, that's one of the things that I found, is that you can have a circle, and this is what I did initially. I had a circle of just, it was one big circle full of a mixture of people, and what you get is that you can't filter it so well. So filtering your circles and putting them into, like I have a client circle, I have one of my passions is marathon running, so I have a marathon running circle, and then another circle is a read later circle for any of those posts that are going fast through the feed. If you put it to a read later circle, then you can go just into that circle and have a look at some of those posts and things. So do you have yours quite filtered, your circles itemised? Well, obviously you do, because you said you have some important circles that you use.
Yeah. There's quite a lot to this, so
and way too much for us to cover now.
Minutes Pillar 5 is about being trusted. Just one thing on the Pillar 4 about building your circles. People are going to follow you because you're interesting and because you interact with them. They're the two things that people are going to. So you've got to be posting stuff that's going to be interesting to people, and you've got to interact with people, and that's how you're going to get followers on Google+. So it's about socializing strategy for Pillar 4. Pillar 5, about trust and be authentic, is a lot about filling out your about section, and I recommend that you make your about section and keep tweaking it and keep building that and make it very powerful and good, and send people to that about section. You can see on my Google+ profile that I've got a photo of myself and my wife on our wedding day. People seem to like that. People like dealing with people like themselves, really. So they want to relate to you as much as possible. So I really recommend having a photo of yourself rather than just a logo, and being a little bit personal. It's not Facebook. It's a little bit different than. It's probably not so much personal stuff as Facebook. But just a little bit of that, and that's going to build rapport with people.
What would you say on business pages as well? Would you say because that's what I'm seeing more and more, is that people on business pages or business pages are having not just their logo, but they're having logo and a photo of a person or a avatar or something.
Yeah, on the page about my book, the avatar is half the book and half the photo. So it's quite. Because
people buy from people, not from businesses as such.
And how do you get your posts promoted? Is
sharing, love, and caring.
is about collaborating with other people. So find communities that are in your niche. So if you go into the community section of Google+, and this is the drop-down menu on the left-hand side, and go into communities, and right up on the top right-hand corner, there's a search area. So search for different topics, and they'll bring up the biggest communities first. So go into those communities, check them out, and get involved in some communities. And
we might do a quick demo of that if we've got time as well.
And when you post, occasionally share your posts in the communities, if that's the kind of thing that's going on in those communities, because you'll get a sense of what some communities are just for discussion about different things, but some communities are actually designed to for people to share their posts into, so they're a collation point for posts about a certain topic, and that's that's another way that you'll meet the people in your niche as well, or your area. Promote your posts, share other people's posts occasionally, so people see you as a sharer, and then they're more likely to share your posts as well, and hope that they'll get shared too. Promote your posts into Pinterest and Twitter and other places, other communities where there'll be further on sharing of your posts. So this is how you'll get promoted. The most important pillar for us all here is to get bought from, or if you're a charity, to get supporters and get donations, or if you're a politician, to get voted for. So this can all happen for you if you get these other 6 pillars working, and you keep nurturing them and rebuilding them again and again. And you've got to have a product that you are promoting in your About section, and I recommend that you put your product on your profile photo as well, so people know why you're there, and they don't have to guess, oh, what's this person about, what's this person selling, what's this person do. You've got to tell people this, and so they're clear about this, because people got a lot of people in their networks, so you've got to let people know who you are and what you do and what you offer to them. So that's brief overview.
That's one of the biggest things I see in here is on social networks. I see people doing a lot of socializing. I see them doing, a lot of getting friends, and I've got a lot of doing followers and that. But they forget to actually make the offer. They forget to actually promote themselves or sell whatever it is they're going to sell. Seriously, if you're on any social network, you need to offer people something, because if you establish yourself as the authority, which you're going to do on Google+, you're going to be the authority in whatever industry you're in. If you establish yourself as the authority, you build the trust, you build these circles and followers, well, they're going to want to buy something from you. And if you don't offer them something, they'll go to your competition. So make sure you make the offers. Great. So we've already started the interview with you, and we've gone through the 7 pillars of success. But how do we set up our Google+ profile to get maximum search benefits for you on your website? So did you want to go on and have a look? Should we go into into a profile and have a look at the About section?
Yeah, okay.
Rightio. Oops, I'm running on reserve car. I better plug myself in. Okay. So in terms of screen share, we're just going to go back into here. Yeah, we're in Google. Okay.
So this was just quickly while everyone's watching. This was the dentist that had 70,000 or so. Oh, no, that was a different one.
It wasn't this one.
We found a local business that had 84,000 views, and but they hadn't even done anything. So when people were going there to view, the 84,000 people, they probably didn't get a great impression of that business, because they weren't showing them anything. So
yeah, I think it was under this one here. Let's get into the right ones.
So it really is important that you have a few posts up there to show people, because it might be Google Plus is very public, and it's like basically handing people a name card with nothing on it. So you're going to a business meeting and handing people a name card, and you're not even they're going, well, what are you about? I think a lot of businesses don't even know how much they're getting looked at. It
was amazing when we looked at that particular one. I can't actually get onto that.
Don't worry too much about that, because we don't have so much time. But let's just go and have a quick look at your About section, Kerry. And
yeah, but I'm not even logged on my right one there, so we might have to.
Yeah, we can do that though.
Yeah, we can't do that one.
We can go into your Google Plus. Just go into the URL of it.
That's not it there, is it?
Yeah,
Oh, that's it. Actually, this is it here. We're going to go into your one.
Just click on there and just search your people. Just go to Kerry Fitzgibbon up here.
Is it letting us, or do we have to do it via? I'm assuming that we go. Oh, I'm good at this. Let's go back out. Sorry, guys. All right. Let's just quickly log out of here and log into my account.
No, we don't. No, don't log out. Don't do that, because then we'll stop the broadcast. But we just go into Google Plus here and find it. I'll show you. So the thing is, everyone, about your About section is that you need to say what it is you do and what you're about and how people can contact you in different ways, and you also want to be sure that your websites that you have contributed to. It's not you?
No. It's one that's not even set up properly. That one's not set up.
And you want to make sure that your websites are. You can find it?
Yeah.
There we are now.
We're in actually in the. We should be logged in under you here, and we're not, but.
Go into your Google Plus About section and make sure that any website that you're associated with or you want to be found with or link or Google to link with is included in your contributing sites down at the bottom of your search area.
I'm going to do it this way. If you Google my name, I come up. Most of these come up. Kerry Fitzgibbon on Google Plus. Here she is.
Okay.
I'm all over Google like a rash.
Okay, so go click on About. And when you promote yourself on the internet, just promote your Google Plus profile, like Kerry Plus Google Chrome, then your name, and then /About, and then people can find you in there.
Then About.
Okay, so Kerry's written about what she does, what her businesses are, and the most important.
And a hyperlink as well. I'm hyperlinking certain words in there. So if you look at
the one that I wanted to show you. So don't start that again. Sorry, Kerry.
You're on Chrome now. We should go back into Safari. I don't think we're showing the screen. That's the problem.
What's that?
I don't think we're sharing this particular screen.
Oh, we'll share anything that we come up with.
Okay.
I can't type the name. Type on this. So make sure that any website that you are associated with is in your About section, please. So it's just really what I'm wanting to explain to you here. Just go down a bit lower in your About section, and so we can see it. What I'm talking about is contributor to, all right? So any website that you've written on or that you want to be found or associated with on the internet, please have those in this section here. And that's how Google find you, and that's how Google promote your Google Plus posts when people are searching. So this is a really important thing to get done.
And it's one of the foundational things you do when you're on Google Plus is, you know, setting up your profile to make sure that it links back to your website, to make sure that you've got the author's ref as well. So whenever you write an article on Google Plus, that'll actually links back that you are the author of that, and that's something that's done at a Google Plus and website level. I'm just going to plug myself in.
And as far as setting yourself up goes as well, it's really important to be following. A lot of people are just sitting around only following 300 or 400 people or so and wondering why not so many people are following them. So I really hope that you are active and actively following people every day to get to that stage where you're following 5,000 people. It's another really important thing that I want people to remember when they're
So you're allowed
starting up.
5,000 followers on your personal profile, but if you've got a business page, you're actually allowed unlimited, or you're allowed to follow 5,000 people, sorry, on your personal profile, but on your business page you can follow unlimited amount of people. So, but again, we'll talk about a little bit more into detail when we'll show you in a minute how we can give you a little bit more of this information, and you can sit in for, we've got a half-a-day workshop, and we've got an online workshop as well for people that can't attend live, but how, we can show you sort of the ins and outs of how to do all this. It's just a little bit hard here tonight and the amount of time that we have. So let's get back to our Hangout. There we go. And I'm just going to go back to setting up your profile, how to build hundreds of followers quickly. You touched briefly on that, but effectively it's about the sharing, the promoting, and having great content up there that is relevant to people that
and getting involved in communities.
Yeah, and getting involved in, and in terms of, and I'm just looking at the views that I had, and it had over 140,000 views on my profile. Last week I had 44,000 views. So that's,
yeah, up to 165,000. They're usually about 2 days behind with those as well.
Yeah, so that's over 100,000 more views on my site, and I've been pretty active in it in the last. And we're not talking hours a day. We're talking. I'm probably only on there, and I'm pretty bad, but I'd be lucky if I'm on there 5 to 10 minutes a day at the moment, and that's over 100,000 views in the last week from just being a little bit more active. And also how to create. So yeah, how do you create content inside Google Plus that isn't necessarily your
own? Find stuff around the internet and give people credit for it if necessary. That post stuff that you like and you're interested in. That's it. That's the only real advice. But post stuff that you like and you're interested in, and then the right people that you are that are going to gravitate to you. Don't try and go and be something that you're not. Don't post content that you don't like and that you're not interested in, because then you get the wrong people coming to you.
Yeah. And so just to let you know, how we can be able to help you a little bit further. We're holding a Google Plus workshop now. Like I said, Michael's here on holiday, just for a couple more weeks, in fact, and I've been able to secure him to hold 2 half-day workshops here on the Gold Coast and Brisbane. It's actually on your last couple of days of holiday as well, isn't it?
No, not so bad. We're leaving on Wednesdays.
Oh,
they're Friday and Saturday.
They're Friday and Saturday, so it is the last couple of days. But anyway, so we're here in they're going to be here in Australia, Brisbane and the Gold Coast live workshops. They're going to be half days, and we're also we're going to be sticking around for a few hours afterwards. And that, if you've got any questions, if you want us to look at your profiles and give you some advice, but there's going to be so much information in those workshops. We're going to be doing live demonstrations, case studies, and so on. So I'm just going to go into one of these and show you exactly what it's all about. But yeah, so it's a half-day workshop. We're going to be in Brisbane at the Hotel Diana. It's on the 27th there. Here we go, it's opening up. Okay. So in Brisbane on the 27th, that's Friday, June, it's from 9 AM to 1 PM. And on the Gold Coast, it'll be on the 28th of June, and it's just at Freshwater Point, which is in Broadbeach, with plenty of parking at both places. We don't want people to have to stress out about parking. So 9 to 1, and it's the Google Plus for Business Profits workshop. So we know that Google Plus is the most powerful social media platform powered by Google, and valued by search engines. So some of the things that we'll be covering in this particular workshop is how to grow your Google Plus account in 45 minutes a day or less. We'll also go through why you need a Google Plus page for you and for your business and how you can get this. Search engine optimization benefits. So basically how to get found, using Google Plus. So if this is properly set up and developed, it's a critical aspect to getting ranked within Google. So if someone searches for certain your industry or your product or service, how you can get found. How to use Google Plus for your business. What works, what doesn't, what to stay away from. How to hold one of these hangouts. So how you can help your business learn the benefits of doing a hangout on Google Plus, as well as leverage this inside Google and inside YouTube as well. Tips on quickly finding content to share. We only touched on it really briefly here. Michael has a whole heap of way of how you can find content to share, so you never run out of things to post in your status updates as well. How to build your Google circles, so best practices. Learn how to create powerful lists of people who you can instantly tailor your message to. So just to give you an example, you might have a circle of clients that buy, so for instance, if we're talking about one of my products, which is marathon running products, I have a circle of clients who have bought my marathon training program, right? Well, then I might want to advertise to them my nutrition program that goes alongside it, or I might want to advertise to them other products and services. So really building those circles so that so you can take perhaps someone who's a potential client into a client circle into, okay, well, what else can we sell those people as well? So really using it kind of as a little bit of an email funnel as well. So how to get more followers on Google Plus. So discover how you can gain 5,000 followers and over 1 million views in less than 2 months.
I definitely think that that is very, very possible for anyone who follows what I suggest to do and gives it, say, half an hour a day. You can get 5,000 followers and 1 million views in 2 months without doubt. So
that's awesome. Google Plus ripples, so engaging with your clients and customers can be really unknown, but the great thing about Google's is it dishes it all out to you. The ripples show you exactly who your key influencers are in your niche. It shows you exactly who's sharing your content, who's interacting with your content, and so on and so on. And you can actually go in and have a look at other people's content and see who the key influencers in there as well and see who's sharing it. It's a really great way to find out, to perhaps find people to do joint ventures with, or perhaps find people that you can help build, who've got lists that you might want to promote to. It's dished out in Google Plus. And Google Plus communities, which Michael talked about in the engagement. So communities are a really powerful way of connecting with people interested in your area of speciality. So how to connect and engage using this feature. And really, I guess we're going to cover the exact blueprint to ensure success with Google Plus. So I guess the bottom line is, if you're not actively marketing on Google Plus, you're missing out on some huge opportunities. We're going to go through in this half day exactly how you can do all that. We're going to take the guesswork out of it and make it sort of a little bit more attractive for you to be on there, and easily attractive for you to be on there. So that's the Brisbane and the Gold Coast. What I might do is I might put it's getting really technical for me, might put the links in the search box in case you want to register.
And there's also going to be an online event for people who can't make it to those events as well.
Yeah.
So we'll let you know about that.
All right, let's get back to there we go, into the chat box here. I usually get people running my stuff for me. Here we go. So I'm just going to grab. Can we copy that? What we might do is have to send it out afterwards. So the great thing about these Hangouts is we get to see who is hanging out on these Hangouts as well. So we're going to be having the Australia one. So, well,
So you can grab it now.
Grab it now. This is the Brisbane one.
That was clever.
Oh, yeah. Now we've got to get back to the Hangout. As you can see, I've got quite a few things open on the screen. Note to self, not have so many things open up on the screen. There we are. That's Brisbane event. And pretty sure that if I go...
I've spent a lot of time working out what Google Plus is about and how it works and what doesn't work and how to really make it work for you. So you've got to be getting the benefit of a lot of time and energy and effort and expertise here by attending these events or attending our online event. And I don't hold anything back when I teach at these things, so you'll be getting absolutely everything I know from me at these events. So.
And I mean, you know, to follow someone that has, or to get the information from someone who has, you know, 31 in the world, and most of the other ones that are ahead of you are celebrities, and as long as we don't have to have too much technology there, we'll be sweet when it comes to me. Anyway.
You got it, that's it.
Here we go. That's the Brisbane one. Here's the Gold Coast one. And what we're going to do, we haven't set up the link yet for the if you're international. If you are anywhere in Australia, I suggest you do come to these events. Otherwise, you're going to have to travel to Japan to see Michael. Because he's only here, like I said, for the next couple of weeks. We've nabbed him on the last few days of his holiday. And he's got, like, I mean, as you can see, 31 in the world in Google Plus. Most of the people in front of them are actually celebrities, and although you are a Google Plus celebrity yourself, and over 75,000 followers, and how many million page views?
45 million views on my profile.
There we go. So you want to be learning from Michael, and I actually might let you, you know, do most of the demos and stuff on the day as well.
Thank you so much for listening in, everyone.
Thanks.
Really enjoyed it, Kerry, and thanks, Kerry. It's great to be here with you.
Thank you. So yes, and if you keep an eye out, if you're international, we'll send you the link to the webinar that we'll be holding if you can't make it to these workshops. Thanks a lot, guys.
Bye.